Hello, I'm Shadow Duke, and welcome to another Ironman progress video. In this video, there are a lot of random levels coming in, and we're starting it off with farming as always. At this point, the beehives aren't going to be leveling me every single time I go to them, but there's still going to be a nice chunk of experience. It is pretty nice that they aren't going to be leveling me every single time I get here, because that means I'm actually making progress in the skill. With that being said, divination is still giving me levels constantly. I'm hoping that I can reach 75 so that way I can get to the Hall of Memories. Once I reach there, the levels should fly by, instead of having to rely on doing it once every hour. Last video for my Reaper task, I did have some moles that I needed to kill. Unfortunately, I was using up a lot of food, so I went ahead and upgraded my armor over here in the Artisan Workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and try it again to see if I can conserve a little bit more food while I'm killing them. Even with my equipment partially upgraded, I'm still using a lot more food than I want. At this rate, I'm going to run out of food very quickly. So back to the workshop I go to upgrade my armor even more. Hopefully this will be the last time. On the bright side, I am getting a good amount of smithing experience from all this armor upgrading I've been doing. I finally completed upgrading all my gear, and I also got a level out of it, so that's fantastic. Even with all the upgrades that I've done to my gear, I'm still eating a lot of food, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. I'll just have to make sure that I'm constantly fishing and cooking my food. Otherwise, I will run out. And since I want to do my Reaper tasks as soon as possible, I will be finishing Reaper tasks whenever I can, even though it uses a lot of food. I did manage to get a Clinging Mole, which is a unique drop from the mole. I can use this mole on a Dragonfire shield that will give me increased protection against Dragonfire. It only lasts 500 hits before it degrades, in which case I'll lose the Clinging Mole and keep the shield. Since the charges are so low, it doesn't really seem that useful, but I might as well use it since I have it. I do find myself here in the Lumbridge Castle cooking a lot. I only cook in small batches because I don't want to overcook since I don't have the cooking gauntlets yet. Until I get 59 magic, I can't actually get them. After over an hour of trying to kill the mole, I finally completed my Reaper task, got my points, and a decent amount of Slayer experience, putting me at 53 Slayer. Now that I have over 10 boss kills, I am able to unlock the Warrior's Retreat teleport. This is a huge unlock. It provides me with unlimited teleports to a bank, as well as an altar later on in the future. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in this area. It's pretty much my new home. For my next Reaper task, looks like I got KBD. I'm getting very lucky that I'm getting these easy bosses since there's no restriction on what boss I can get. I'm definitely going to try this one out. I don't see why I shouldn't be able to do it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and connect my Clinging Mole to my shield now, and I'm going to try it out at KBD. So hopefully it goes well. As I said, I don't really have high hopes for it since it only has 500 charges. Well, just like the mole, I'm using a ton of food. I was able to kill it, but I did use all my food, and since I do have the shield that reduces damage, it doesn't really look promising when the shield breaks, and it's already halfway through its charges on the first kill. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break from this Reaper task and move over to Dungeoneering and see if I can get any levels from that. The wonderful thing about Dungeoneering is the other skill levels that come with it, so here we have 57 HP coming in. Shortly after I did get 73 Dungeoneering and 33 Construction. The best part about construction is I didn't even build my house yet. I moved over to Slayer and managed to get 59 defense, putting me only one level away from getting Orichalcum armor. I'm really looking forward to using that because that's definitely going to save food for bossing. Looks like the Yak Track is back in town, so it's time for some random skilling again. I do want to do the Yak Track because they do have some nice cosmetics in there, so I might as well unlock them while it's here. My first real task was to skill and kill, so I went ahead and went to Metaphos to fish, since I'm going to need a lot of food for the future. During the task, I did manage to get 58 fishing. I'm hoping by fishing during the skill and kills, I'll be able to have enough fish to cook when I get a cooking task. Usually at the higher level tasks, they'll have you cook 2,000 to 3,000 fish, so I definitely need to stock up. For the next task, I decided to go with mining. I'm going to need a ton of ore to get my smithing up to level 80 since I'm going for invention, so I feel like that'll be the most useful one that I can choose. Since I was mining tier 60 ore, I figure I might as well get 60 smithing so that way I can make the ore box so I can bank those ores a little bit more efficiently. And now that I have that, I can finally get to mining. I managed to get from 68 mining all the way up to 70 from this track. The reason I'm level 70 mining and I don't have any Orichalcum is because I got most of it from mining the uncommon gem rocks in Al-Kharid for my crafting levels. So my mining is definitely going to be out leveling my smithing for a while. My next track is to kill some monsters. So I went over to Shattered World since they provide me with some free food as well as free runes, and I went there to train my magic. I'm hoping that I can get to 59, so when a cooking track comes along, I'll have the cooking gauntlets. With the help of Shadow World sponsoring my magic training, I managed to get 57 magic. Alright, that took a little while, but with that task finally completed, looks like my next step is to do some archaeology. But not before doing my monthly to get some free herb levels since the clock ticked over. I had quite a few artifacts just sitting in the bank, so I used that to get the required XP to complete the task, so it went by very quickly. For my next task, I need to smith. Unfortunately, I missed level 61, but here it is. Basically what I'm doing for smithing is I'm just making all the armor and weapons that I'm going to need to use in the future and upgrading them to their max level, so that way when the level comes around, it'll be ready to use. I know that upgrading them to max level probably doesn't make a huge difference as we tested with the rune armor, but I feel like it'll help a little bit in survivability even though I probably won't notice it. So I ended up completing my smithing task, but I'm so close to leveling I figure I might as well just knock it out of the way. And there we go, level 62 smithing. And as you can see here, most of the items I created are +2 and +3 already, so they're pretty much almost done. So obviously for the next track I'm going to be doing rune crafting. And it's for multiple reasons. The first one is, runes are always going to be useful and I'm always going to need them, so I might as well get them now. The other one is rune crafting is just going to be faster in general to complete than any other one. Not only that, but for the crafting they require you to use leather to craft, and they don't allow you to use gems. If it was the other way around, I would definitely do the crafting one. But unfortunately, leather would take too long to get. And once again, here's another skill and kill, so here I am fishing, getting level 59. With that completed, I am starting to stockpile a good amount of fish to cook later on, and what do you know, another fishing task. I don't even need to move my location. I didn't need to catch that many fish to complete this task, so I didn't even get a level, but looks like farming is up next and that should be super quick. And it looks like I was right, the farming was so quick that I lost the clip somehow. But here we have divination. This one was also super fast, all I did was convert the memories into energy, so that way it would go even faster. I can then use this energy later on to create some divine locations if I want to. So on the topic of making divine locations, I went ahead and actually did that with some maple logs. I was getting a ton of experience through this location, so it's definitely something I should do regularly if I want to get some easy woodcutting levels. And here we are back in the dungeon getting level 74 dungeoneering. I'm getting that much closer to unlocking the Charming Imp, so hopefully I'll have it soon. Originally the plan was to level up more combat through dungeoneering, but it did start to slow down a bit, so I went and turned to Slayer. While slaying, I got quite a few different levels. I went from level 53 Slayer to level 55, and of course the Slayer levels also come with combat levels. So I got up to level 57 attack, 55 strength, and 61 defense. While slaying, I did finish up the kill monsters task, but up next was skill and kill again, so I continued my Slayer tasks just to get the few extra levels. Also, I didn't really want to leave in the middle of a task, since I did still have food left over. After I finished that Slayer task, I moved over to the Mole to finish up the Reaper task, and I managed to get the 55 strength there. I then managed to get level 58 attack, and I completed the Reaper task and got a good chunk of Slayer experience. Didn't give me a level, but it does give me a good amount of points. Needing a break from PVM, I went over to Menopause to finish up my skill and kill by fishing. Once that track was completed, I noticed that I had a summoning task. Unfortunately, I don't have that many charms, so I went over to Waterbirth Island to try my might to see if I'm able to kill the Dagonoths to get a lot of Crimson charms. So after spending a little bit of time here in the Waterbirth Caves, it's not looking like this is going to be a good method to get a lot of charms. It's going to take way too long, I'm going to use way too many supplies. So I decided to skip this task, since even the Herbalore one's going to take forever, since I need to get all the herbs for it. Luckily I have a lot of skips, and this is exactly what I was saving them for. My next task was to smelt. Since it's allowing me to do low level bars, I decided to do steel so that way I can save my higher level bars for the higher level tracks. As I start getting to the level 30 tracks, it's going to limit me on what kind of bars I can use, so I figured I'd save the Orichalcum for that part. And here we are stocking up on fish again for another task, putting me at level 60 fishing. Ever since I got to Menopause, my fishing levels have been flying off the charts. Now I have options here. I can cook the fish that I got from the track, or I could mine. I decided to go mining since it's more AFK, and I don't have the cooking gauntlets yet, so I don't want to cook all the food and end up burning half of it. There will be more cooking tasks later on, so I'm not too worried about that. Even if I don't get to use the food during a cooking task, I'm still going to cook it eventually, so it doesn't really matter. And with that, I was able to get all the way up to 73 mining, and I also got an effigy while I was doing it. I'm not going to be able to open this effigy for a very long time, but it's still cool to get. Looks like we got a kill task up next, so I'm going to go ahead and do a Reaper task. After the first kill, I finally got an HP level, putting me at level 60. I feel like HP levels take forever because I haven't gotten them in a while. And there we go, another Slayer level coming in, putting me at level 57. While on task, I was scattering some ashes from my kills, so I was able to complete a daily challenge. That ended up getting me 50 prayer. And as always, I run out of food, so I went to Lumbridge to cook just a few batches, putting me at level 62 cooking, but still burning a lot of food. I really need to get those gloves. Once I finished restocking on food, I went back to slay some baddies and got another prayer level. So I came across something interesting while getting a Slayer task. Apparently, I was assigned a special task to kill the fungal creatures using experimental spray. I didn't realize this was even a thing, so I went ahead and accepted that since they said it would give me bonus experience. While I was on the task, whenever I used the spray, it would either heal it or it would enrage it, doing a little bit more damage. But it still wasn't hard to complete, so I'm happy I accepted it since I did get bonus experience. It ended up putting me at level 58 Slayer. While killing worms on task, I managed to get a lot of random useful supplies, as well as 56 strength. Looks like the monthly's finally reset. I checked the oyster, didn't get anything that great, but I did manage to get 61 fishing from the monthly. And of course, if the oyster reset, that means the statues reset as well, so here's 35 construction coming in. For the most part, I'm only building the prayer statues so that way I can get as high as a prayer level as I possibly can before I need to get soul split. So I figured it was about that time for me to unlock Dinosaur Land. So I took the boat over to Anachronia and I started my base camp. The main reason I'm actually here is to do Herby Werby. I need to unlock the herb bag so that way when I'm on my Slayer task, my inventory isn't getting full of random herbs, because that's what's been happening recently. And to end this video off, I ended up getting 49 divination from a cache. Once again, I'm not really keeping up with these dailies, but I'm doing my best. There's been a ton of progress made this video, especially since the Yak Track is back in town and I want to get the cosmetics. Unfortunately with the Yak Track it does scatter the video a bit, but there's not really much I can do about that since I do want to partake in the event. But on the plus side, it does give a little bit of variety in what I do in the videos, so everything feels a bit fresh. Also, me and Mandolin have been streaming regularly on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 AM to 4 PM Eastern Time. So if you're interested in that, come by and have a chat with us. Everybody's welcome. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. We do have a lot of videos coming out in the near future, so stay tuned for those. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.